mentioned, discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. Last program, we discussed some issues are associated with, was it hormonal imbalance? There were some questions regarding polycystic ovaries, that type of thing. Today's program, we're going to actually be looking at eye health. Now, eye health is something that I would have spoken about on numerous occasions. But why I decided to speak about it again today, simply because it is an alarming situation, a serious situation. I mean, when we look at diabetes, and I think a lot of persons may be aware now that Trinidad and Tobago has a pretty high diabetic population, and that population is continually growing. We also have a very high adolescent diabetes population. And as a result of that, you find that persons who having eye challenges would the numbers would increase because of that, especially if they are diabetic. So today, that's what we're going to touch on. We're going to touch on primarily glaucoma and what is known as retinal detachment. And next program, we could always tackle or deal with rather cataracts, and we could also look at macular degeneration. And these are all ailments or diseases of the eye. So when we're looking at glaucoma, glaucoma primarily has to do with the ocular pressure in the eyes. Now, your eye is primarily fluid, aqueous humor, which is primarily water, right? High percentage of water. What happens to a lot of persons is sometimes the pressure in the eye itself may become elevated. And as a result of that elevation, it can cause serious problems because it can affect your eyesight. It can cause the damage of blood vessels, because if pressure is very high, it can cause blood vessels to be damaged, stretched, and it can even cause blood vessels to be ruptured. So when you're dealing with someone who has glaucoma, which is high ocular pressure, you have two types of glaucoma primarily. You have open angle glaucoma and closed angle glaucoma. And in both instances, it can cause serious problems with your eyesight. Now, the thing is, when you're testing the pressure in your eye, usually the pressure in the eye is supposed to be anywhere in the vicinity of 8 to, let's say 8, 9 to maybe about 15 for the highest. And that would either be the right or the left eye. Now, there are some persons who would experience numbers in excess of that. So they will go maybe 17, 19. And then when you start going in the 20s, it becomes very troublesome and worrisome. And of course, if it is left unchecked, it can cause serious problems to the point of even loss of vision. So, of course, the question arises, what would really cause someone to end up with glaucoma? Now, it has a lot to do, one, with some dietary factors could contribute in terms of maybe too much salt in the diet. Your diet has too much processed foods, too much processed meats, lack of water, dehydration plays a significant role in that. I've often explained to individuals how important it is to consume sufficient amounts of water, because hydration is everything. That is what drives the body, and essentially can make a difference between someone being healthy and someone becoming very, very unhealthy over a very short period of time. And like everything else in the body, hydration does affect your eyes and the pressure in your eyes. So that's something you need to pay very close attention to. Now, the thing is, at Batson and Associates, our specialization is primarily natural and integrative medicine. For those of you who may not be aware of what that really means, it simply means it is a matter of simply not necessarily addressing the symptomology, in this case, high ocular pressure, but really dealing with the root cause of the problem. And a perfect example of that would be an issue with poor circulation in the cerebral hemisphere. Now, the thing is, we know the importance of proper blood circulation. Blood is responsible for transporting two primary things, for want of a better expression, in the body, and it is responsible for the transportation of oxygen and nutrients to cells. So even the cells in your eyes or the cells in the brain are dependent on proper pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation is circulation above your heart. Systemic circulation is circulation below your heart. If you have a glaucoma problem, you definitely have a pulmonary circulation problem. So that's why we're going back to not necessarily the symptomology, which is glaucoma, whether it's open angled or closed angled, but the root cause of the problem, which is poor pulmonary circulation. And of course, going back even further, if we're dealing with poor circulation, we're looking at poor circulation in the extremities, which is primarily capillary circulation, because those are very fine blood vessels in the eyes. So that is fundamentally what you're looking at. So of course, the next question is going to be, how do we address poor pulmonary circulation and poor circulation in general to get better eyesight or have better readings with your glaucoma? So I'm going to give you that just now, but allow me to just give you our telephone numbers and office locations, quickly, clinic locations rather. We are located in Chaguanas, that's Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And the Debe office is located on the corner of Ramsey Woods Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. Before I continue, let me just ask Samantha, do you have any questions as yet?
Yes, we do. This person, it comes via WhatsApp. The person says, I keep getting this sharp pain in my left butt cheek. Every time I bend over, it hurts. When I sit, it hurts. I feel a sharp pain pressing against, my bowel gland. Is this a sign of something serious?
Ooh, that was a lot there, boy. Well, the thing is, any pain that you're getting or discomforts is usually some sort of cause for concern. What I would normally tell persons is that if the discomfort, so let's say if we were to give a range, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, if your discomfort or pain is more than 5, then it should be checked out in some way. Now, when we're looking at pain, we primarily may be looking at the musculoskeletal system. So it could be a problem with maybe some sort of arthritis. Arthritis is inflammation in the musculoskeletal system, so it could be inflammation. If you're talking about the butt cheek, you're looking at tendons, some muscles there. So it could simply be a matter of that, where you might have to do some sort of stretching or maybe some sort of exercise to address that situation. Or it could be something that may be a bit more serious. So what I'll normally recommend in a case like that is you could have either X-ray, MRI, or a CT scan done. And that, of course, is going to shed some light on, if it's really something superficial, or if it's something that may be more in-depth or something more chronic that needs to be addressed. But my advice always when you're looking at things like that, again, would be, check your hydration, very important. And, a detox sometimes, because, there's a product we carry at Batson & Associates, which is a 7-channel detox. That product primarily detoxifies the 7 channels of elimination. Those channels are your kidney, your colon, your bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Now, a lot of persons would take cleanse or what they would call purges. This is not a purge I'm advocating here. This is a detox, which is something completely different. But what that does is that it actually opens the body up to better performance in the sense that you're able to, one, remove toxins from the body. Anything that cleanses the liver is going to be advantageous because your liver is an organ that has over 500 different functions, primarily metabolic functions, digestive functions. So, of course, if you could get that organ functioning even more optimally, it would make sense. Your lymphatic system is a very important system. Your lymphatic system is the system that actually is responsible for cleaning your blood. Unfortunately, your lymphatic system, unlike your circulatory system, does not have a pump. The pump for your circulatory system is the heart. Your lymphatic system works with gravity and water. So it is very important to actually have that system detoxified. And that's one of the things that Santulan actually does. So sometimes you might be having, let's say, a little joint pain. You might be having a lot of headaches. You might have loss of appetite. You might have problems sleeping. And a lot of the times it might just require some proper hydration and a detox. And that's, of course, where Batson & Associate comes in, and the Santulan and the Alkagen water, which you can call any of those numbers that I just reiterated there for you, and you would be able to get some information. Let me just quickly say a pleasant good afternoon to our social media following. We are Batson & Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson & Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson & Associates Trinidad. Over to you, Samantha.
And if you do have a question for Dr. Jason Batson, you can call us right now using the hotline numbers 627-3223, 627-3223, as well as 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send that question via WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. And we do have a question that comes via WhatsApp. It says, good afternoon, Dr. Batson. I believe I'm 83 years old, female, a stroke victim. My left side is affected. I'm having a dry cough for 3 months now. I've visited many doctors with no positive results. What advice can you give? Oh, this is not the person per se. They're asking for someone else.
Asking for someone, okay.
Yes. What can you give her? Or do you have any product to help with her? She has never had COVID.
Oh, good. Okay. That's an excellent question. Simply because it opens up a Pandora's box, which is what is referred to as a dry cough. Now, dry coughs primarily come about as a result of what is known as a post-nasal drip. So, a lot of us would get the cold or the flu, and normal thing, it will last maybe a week, 2 weeks. If things really bad with you, maybe a month, but eventually it goes. Now, what happens to some persons, they end up with something known as a post-nasal drip, which is basically a drip subsequent to getting the cold to the back of the throat. So whenever you have that dripping taking place, you actually end up with a dry cough. Now, what that means is that the infection has not completely gone. It has not completely dried up, as they say. But of course, they will be limited in the amount of antibiotics that they could actually prescribe for you. So what you normally find with a situation with a dry cough, the best thing I would normally recommend, there's a product we carry at Batson Associates called Inflammation Formula. An inflammation formula is a product that is specifically for addressing inflammatory response in any aspect of the body. Primarily now, with a post-nasal drip or a dry cough, we denote inflammatory response in the nasal cavity and the back of the throat. So you're looking at inflammation formula, and there's a product we carry called silver with mineral formula. Now, silver is something that has been debated and argued for years. When we talk about silver, we're speaking about the mineral silver. What a lot of persons are not aware of is that silver in its state actually has the ability to be antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. I mean, they have done tests with silver that showed that it has been put against 750 different pathogens, whether it's bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, worms, and has successfully killed all of them. So it's a very good supplement to have in your regime. And this is something that I have recommended for babies. I'm actually treating a baby right now who has eczema, very bad eczema. The child is like about 9 months, and the eczema is really terrible. And since we actually started that particular protocol, the parents have seen significant improvement with the skin and lack of weeping, and the skin is actually starting to now clean up and that type of thing. Obviously, because we didn't want to give babies steroids. I mean, adults not even supposed to be using steroids like prednisolone and those type of things, but they're usually recommended because they suppress inflammation and not necessarily address inflammation. So all of that is to say that the silver with the mineral formula and the inflammation formula would be able to help you. There's also a tea we carry called Long's tea. So once we put that in a protocol for you and you get your hydration in, even someone at the age of 83, they would not have any problems because it's not antibiotics, it's not steroids, so you don't have to worry about your kidneys or anything like that. And once they do that in about a month, they should have that problem completely taken care of. Okay?
And if you do have a medical question for Dr. Jason Batson, feel free to give us a call right now at 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send your medical question via WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. And we do have a caller. Hello and welcome. Good afternoon.
Good day, doctor.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Doctor, I have floaters in my right eye. Is that curable?
Okay.
And it's not pain.
Okay, sir. Yeah, floaters. So floaters primarily, yes, they can be corrected. For persons who are not aware what floaters, you get floaters in your eyes, and what happens, what it really is that the tissue in the eye itself, some of the tissue itself becomes very thin. And as a result of that, you actually get what they call floaters, and it's primarily manifested by how the light actually affects your eyes. We have dealt with a number of persons with floaters, actually. It has some dietary contributions associated to it, in the sense that you need to watch your sodium intake. So table salt is something that you should not have in your diet. If you have to use salt, it should be some sort of rock salt or sea salt. Those tend to be better. You need to reduce any sorts of sugars in the diet. And what you look at, there's an eye drop we carry called eye optics formula. But what you also need to do, apart from the eye optics formula, is that you need to look at the healthy oils in your diet. So omegas is something that's going to help you. Keep in mind that once you are not on blood thinners, because that's something that you would need to have some consultation. If you are on blood thinners like warfarin, Clexine, things like aspirin, those type of things, you need to be careful. You should seek advice before using omegas. But once that is not the case, then you do have a problem. There's also a product we carry at Batson & Associates called Optimizer, which is basically a free radical scavenger. Free radical scavengers actually remove or lower oxidative stress in the body. So those are usually very good for people like diabetics. They're usually very good for people with eye problems, because high oxidative stress would contribute to problems like floaters, macular degeneration, those type of problems with the eyes. Okay, so let me again just give you those telephone numbers for the Shogunas office. That number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. For those of you who are social media savvy, you could always add us on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson & Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson & Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson & Associates Trinidad. To use some.
And we do have another question. This one again from WhatsApp. It says, good afternoon, Dr. Batson. What can be used for a stiff back with pain when you bend?
Okay. Back pain, the problems of the world. And the World Health Organization puts back pain as one of the, I believe it's in the top 3 issues that affect individuals on a daily basis. There are a lot of persons who have problems with back pain primarily. The thing is, when you're looking at back pain, you're looking fundamentally at the musculoskeletal system. So you're looking at bones, ligaments, tendons, that type of thing. What a lot of persons do not understand is that we usually have problems with alignment more than others. So a lot of the time, sometimes you might really be out of alignment, and that might be a problem. So you may have to go to see a physiotherapist or maybe a chiropractor, depending on the situation. Now, the inflammatory aspect of back pain. So, for example, if you have sciatica, which is when your lumbar vertebrae actually pressing on the sciatic nerve, and usually you have pain radiating from that aspect of the lumbar vertebrae, go straight down to your toes on the left foot, is usually a sciatic situation. You have something known as herniated disc. What persons have to understand that is, as you age, especially women, you have problems with calcium. Now, your bones are primarily calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus in the form of calcium phosphate. Your bones are the warehouses for calcium. Your thyroid gland is the gland that controls how much calcium leaves your bones to go into your bloodstream at any given point in time. Now, if you have problems with acidosis, lactic acidosis, uric acid problems, which is gout, you're going to have a situation where your body constantly has to be compensating to bring back balance with the additional acid that it has in the body. So what you end up is with what is known as leaching from your bones. So you can actually now end up with osteoporosis or osteoarthritis or even rheumatoid arthritis, which is parasite in your bones. So it again brings us back to the original discussion in terms of not necessarily dealing with the symptomology. So the back pain is your symptomology, but that's not the issue. The issue has to do with the integrity of your musculoskeletal system, which is your bones. So once we determine what that problem is, then we can now actually fix it. And that's one of the things we do at Batson Associates. So anyone who has severe pain, joint pain, back pain, knee pain, your neck pain, all kind of pain, we can help you with that situation. But again, you have to address the inflammatory response. Why do you think the most recommended pharmaceutical drug in terms of dealing with any inflammatory or autoimmune disease, so lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, asthma, the usual recommendation is prednisolone? Now, the issue with that is that is steroids, and we know steroids have a lot of different side effects. It can damage your eyes, it gives you, there's something known as steroid-induced diabetes, and the list goes on and on. Painkillers simply mask the pain, and it doesn't, so it interferes with the nerve endings, but your problem is still there. So fundamentally, what you need to do is really address the root cause of the problem, and that is what we would actually be able to help you to do at Batson and Associates. There's a program that we have currently where we're actually doing various types of tests, which we do the live blood analysis, dry blood analysis, magnetic resonance analysis. You get your foot detox and you get your executive consultation. And we have that in an entire package. The advantage with that is, like, let's say somebody is telling me that they have pain. I could know, based on the test that we would do, either Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Bastamantian, or any of our consultants that we have there, is to determine now how much bone loss you have, how much oxidative stress you have in your bones, because that's very important. And once we determine that now, the protocol is designed in such a way where hydration is taken into consideration, nutrition, and afterwards exercise, because you can't exercise in the current condition you're in. You have pain. But once we have now started to correct the issues with the hydration, the health of the bones, the amount of calcium in your bones, the acid in the bones, then you actually now begin to get long-term relief, which is what you want. Because the problem with most people with pain is that you always have pain. The pain simply gets worse. What you have to do now is just change painkillers. And then, of course, if you reach so bad and you reach the point of being on morphine, well, then we know when you reach there, that is real problem. It's just a matter of time before, you could not be here. So, all of that is to say that you have to address, if you have a back problem, if you have a pain problem, when it is a knee, whether the doctor is telling you, listen, you don't have no cartilage in your knee again, we need to do knee replacement surgery, you have no, your bones have no more calcium, we need to do a hip replacement surgery. It simply means you need to, one, get a second opinion, but understand the fundamentals of what you're dealing with. It is not the symptomology. The pain is your symptom, you know. Your knee, the bones rubbing on bones is your symptom. What you have to address is the root cause of the problem, and that's where Batson and Associates comes in. So very quickly, again, those telephone numbers, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And for David is 223-7515. 223-7515. Samantha?
And we also have another question via WhatsApp. It says, good day, Dr. Batson. What supplements can I use for digestive issues? And will you be in Tobago on the 26th and 27th? Thank you.
The woman announced to the country when I'll be in Tobago. But I will be in Tobago. Once you call the Tobago office, they'll tell you when I'll be in Tobago. God's willing. As regards to digestive problems, I mean, it depends. So if you have GERD, which is gastrointestinal reflux disease, if you have gastritis, which God forbid you don't want, it's simply an issue where the good bacteria in the intestines, because 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. Now, there are a lot of people walking around there that have something known as leaky gut syndrome. And all leaky gut syndrome really is when the hole in your small intestines, because remember, the most amount of digestion takes place where? Intestines, right? So the thing is, if you have holes that are larger than they're supposed to, you are diagnosed, with what is known as leaky gut syndrome. Now, that's a very hard diagnosis to get, but we could tell you if you have it. So it means you need to correct that. So most of the time, digestive imbalances has to do with lack of proper pathogens in the intestines. Now, probiotics can help you. Now, apart from that, there's actually something we carry. There are two products. We have something known as Digestive Balance and one known as Digestive Restore. The digestive restore is basically for persons who have more inflammatory bowel conditions. So things like Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, those type of things. Because that actually helps to bring back the balance itself in the intestines, balance acid, that type of thing. The digestive balance is primarily as regards to food, enzymes, and probiotics, prebiotics to actually help in the proper assimilation of food. Because a lot of the times, if you have acid reflux, GERD, flatulence, bloating, constipation, all those things, those are early gastrointestinal problems, which if they are not corrected, they can lead to serious or more serious problems like inflammatory bowel conditions, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, colorectal cancer, those type of things. So the digestive balance, digestive restore. There's also a tea we carry called gastrointestinal tea. I believe we should get that by next week, please God, because I don't believe we have any circulation and gastro tea in stock, but we should get. So once you call the numbers, they can always put down your name and you can get it. But that gastro tea, the digestive balance, digestive restore, it works. It really works well because it assists now in the proper digestion of the food, but it also helps in bringing back the balance that is needed in the gut.
And Batson and Associate provides services such as live nutritional blood cell analysis testing, critical body function analysis testing, and foot spa detox. Dr. Batson?
Yes. Again, pleasant good afternoon to our Facebook listeners. Let me say a good afternoon to Miss Pamela Moses, Miss Ovalette McFarlane, Miss Anne-Marie Babb, Miss Dawn Charles, and Miss Carol Myers. Someone is asking the question as regards to glaucoma. Does the iOptics formula help? And iOptics formula does help. That is actually an eye drop that we carry at Batson and Associates. It's a non-steroid eye drop, but what the eye drop is designed to do is to actually improve circulation in the eyes. It actually helps to remove waste from your eyes as well. Now, a lot of persons do not know that your body actually takes in waste material via your eyes, via your skin, and via your respiratory aspect, inhalation. Right? So the thing is with that eye drop, and you have a lot of persons, for example, people who work like hairdressers, ladies who do their hair often, people who maybe work in oil and gas, welders, people who deal with auto mechanics, people who are in agriculture, so you do a lot of spraying, you may be doing woodwork. The thing is, all those types of jobs open you up to more problems with your eyes. And as I said, one of the things the iOptics formula does, it actually detoxifies the eyes and help in naturally reducing the ocular pressure in the eyes. Because obviously, it's basically like an eye detox. And that's the problem with a lot of persons, even persons who have dry eyes. I mean, if you have dry eyes, the possibility exists that you may be dehydrated, but it also has to do with poor circulation, again, in the cerebral hemisphere. So that's one of the things that the iOptics formula actually has the ability to do. So you can feel free to give us a call or visit. Again, those clinic telephone numbers and location. Chagonas is first floor Money Talks building, Montrose Main Road, Chagonas. That number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamouch Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, and that number is 220-8113, 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Good news for Tobago, we will finish our new office, God's willing, by mid-October. So that's good news for you guys. Samantha, always a pleasure to be in your company. Let me thank the listeners of 106.5 FM for their time. And of course, please do enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Batson. And that was our special health segment featuring Dr. Jason Batson of Batson and Associates. Visit them today on the first floor Money Talks building, 182 Southern Main Road, Montrose. Call 222-8261, or you can WhatsApp them at 314-9975. Keep listening every Thursday on Freedom 106.5 FM at 1:15 as we continue to talk health.
Technology, then tune in for the digital world on Freedom.
Yes, social media. So a pleasant good afternoon to you guys. I do apologize for missing you this morning. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to everyone on our Facebook. I'm looking to see if you all have any questions to me so I could just take them very quickly.
Just pull up a question for you.
Yes, what's that?
Don't analyze. So you're gonna say come on big and bold and
All right. I know Miss Marcia Letterin said, when you're getting tea, I need some. We're getting tea next week, Miss Letterin. Ms. Donalds, I love how you are putting the formula that you are speaking about for visualization so people can see what they should use. Also the name and addresses of the offices and location. Yes. Thank you so very much. That is that is thanks to Shakil. So we of course trying to better our best. So thank you so very much for that. Okay, keep in mind our Facebook family again. So Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad. Join me, God's willing, Saturday morning. I should be very present. Saturday from 6:05 to 6:55 on the street 91.9. And of course, we will be able to give you some information. So check out that information we have on our Facebook. Those of you who need inflammation formula, nerve restore still there, the eye optics formula. We are doing shipping to the Caribbean and overseas. I mean, we're still working with the challenges, but at the end of the day, it has to be done, and we need to get it done. Okay? So, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless. Do enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon, and keep in mind you can join us on Saturday. You can send messages, tell your friends if you know somebody who's sick, dying, they're suffering, and I mean they just don't know what's going on with them. Then Batson Associates is the place for them. But keep in mind, we do not deal with hardened people. If they're licorice and they're greedy and they just want to eat and continue to eat what they're eating and they don't want to change, well then no, we're not the people for them. Okay, but if they're willing to work and they want to get better, then we are the people for them. Okay? If you know anyone who has problems with the kidneys, they're getting early problems, they're telling them the creatinine high, the bone high, they're telling them about dialysis, Batson Associates may be the place for you. So as we always say at Batson Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Take care, God bless, and see you guys on Saturday morning. Saturday morning, 6:05 to 6:55 on the street 91.9. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.